Straw Hut Media.
Let me open the document. Okay.
You're just going to talk through this process right now?
Sometimes you got to talk through things in life. That's how you progress. That's how you work through it. You talk through, you work through, and you get through.
Okay, inspirational moment.
Confess your mess. Listen, that's how we're kicking off the show. Welcome back to Confess Your Mess.
I'm excited.
Are you excited?
I've interviewed this guest before on my morning talk show, The Morning Beat, over on Channel Q Radio. And so when I reached out to her, I was thrilled that she said yes. Because I was low-key intimidated the first time. Like, you're an icon.
Yeah, this is my first time meeting this guest, but I technically met them through the reality show they were on back in the day. I'm talking about America's Next Top Model. But
you've been binging recently. This last
No. I go on binges sometimes with TV shows. I wouldn't call this a binge because I watched pretty much every season of America's Next Top Model. It was like those later seasons that all of a sudden popped up on Netflix that I never watched, and I watched and I was like, I guess I can watch this, but it's not the same as those earlier seasons or whatever.
That's real.
But anyway, she's accomplished so much since then, and we're so excited to have the fabulous Isis King on there, who is an amazing actress, and we'll get into all of that very soon. But AJ, I know, like you said, you've interviewed Isis before. Isis, welcome to the pod.
Welcome.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
First of all, you're stunning. You just signed on, and obviously you're a model. You're like fabulous and fierce and an actress and all these things. But the way you have your hair today, I said to you before we got rolling, you remind me of my mom back in the 1970s. Like, this is what my mom's vibe was. It's very Cher-esque,
yes.
Right? You're stunning. And you also have my mom's eyes, it's very oddly comforting to me right now.
I appreciate it. Thank you for all the compliments on this, Monday?
Yeah. What day is it?
What day is it?
Well, this is coming out on Thursday.
It comes out on Thursday.
Okay, so this is thanks for all the compliments on this beautiful Thursday.
I love it. She knows how to play the game.
Right.
So you've got a secret for us, confession that you're going to share with us a little bit later on in the show, but we've got some things we need to get through in order to get to that moment. That is our climax.
Oh.
We're all going to climax together with that secret
Wait a minute
later.
now.
Wait,
Nothing wrong with that.
Listen, okay, see, I knew she was ready to play. But before we get to that, we have a lot of listener-submitted confessions and secrets that our messengers share with us every single week. By the way, if you want to get on the pod, head over to confessyourmess.us. You can submit your secrets. You can do them anonymously. You can also leave us a voice note. We're dying for somebody to leave us a voice note. People are so afraid to do this.
I actually had a couple people who said I've left a voice note. We got to look into this, Frank. People are like, I left a voice note. You guys haven't heard it. But so I don't know what's going on.
Well, maybe
with
we're holding on to them for a different episode.
I mean, maybe.
So you can leave us a submission there, and we might even share your confession and give you some advice on our next pod. So
or
do
is it
that.
Like the sock in the dryer where you think you put a pair in there and then it just disappears?
I have like 3 left socks right now that I love so much, and I will not wear them.
Which, by the way, I've been doing a lot of laundry recently.
And you've been mixing them up.
No.
Drive me
and
crazy.
I swear to God, Isis, so we have these Nike socks, and it says L and R on each, and then some of them are large and extra large. I swear to God, I'm looking and I check, okay, L, R, match. And I thought,
nope.
And then all of a sudden the other day, he's like, so when you've been doing laundry, are you checking like to make sure that they're, I'm like, yeah, L, R, and then large, extra large. And he's like, well, I found like 3 that were mismatched. I'm like, well, that ain't me then. I don't know what's going on. That's not me.
That's why you just get a few packs and you just swap them out as you need them. Socks are one of those things like rubber bands. Like, you can never have too many pairs of socks.
So I'm going to tell you something about my fiance. He has a thing with rubber bands.
We ain't confessing that.
I can't tell that part.
No. Well, you always trying to confess my mess.
Okay.
Get back to Isis.
No, the sock thing is real though. And ever since they started putting L and R on socks, I think it's a marketing ploy. I think it's a scam, because when I see an L and an R, I can't put the L on my right foot and I can't put the R on my left foot. I just can't do it. But are those socks really any different? Like, are they built differently, or are they actually
maybe they get more space for like the big toe?
I think it's all bull.
I ain't no telling.
I personally just throw in whatever sock. If they're not going to be seen, then I don't even care. I just throw in whatever.
I have a hard time believing that. I feel like you're like a supermodel and you're like stunning and all these things, and like you always look like put together.
Oh no, most days, like, I'm in LA now. I'm so like, I have on like the droop like hat,
beanies,
makeup, oversized clothes, and usually I just fell in love with this shoe brand called ILYSM, like I love you so much, and they actually still go in my closet.
Ooh,
I'm not even promoting them because I bought all these. Well,
Not yet.
They sent me 1 pair and I bought 3. But I wear these without socks, and these is what I usually wear every day.
Those are so cool.
Oh, you're way more fashionable.
I have like 4 different colors because they sent me a pair, and then I saw them on Instagram. So then I bought like 3 more pair, and now I wear them like almost every day.
Well, that was smart of them. Now they sent you 1, and you bought 3.
Those 3D knit split toe sneaker.
Oh, those are cute.
Oh, they Hypebeast, Forbes. Okay.
Oh,
yeah. I got 1 pair, and I was like, okay, you know what? I actually really love these, and I found out you can wash them in the machine. So I don't even wear socks because I like them better without the socks they have.
Wow.
And then I was just throwing them in the machine if they start to get a little weird. But I mean, I'm a lady. My feet don't ever really get weird.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of have the vibe of those like Balenciaga, like
totally.
Sock shoes.
They do. ILYSM. I love a good acronym. You know, my family, we say "love you being my." So like when I text my little sister, I'll be like LYBMS, love you being my sis. And when he and I got together, we would always say, when we started to say "I love you" 9.5 years ago, he would always ask, or I would always ask, "How much?" And he would always respond, "Pretty a lot of it." Like, "Oh, you love me a little bit, a lot of it. Like, how much do you love me? Pretty a lot of it."
Yeah.
And so on his engagement ring, actually, right now that he's wearing, on the inside, I had engraved ILYPALB. I love you, pretty a lot of it. That's kind of our thing. So I love that brand. It kind of feels like it feels like home.
I love that.
Yeah, it's really good, and they should, send me some more colors.
They should send you all
I'm
the
looking
colors.
like, y'all need some thigh highs, y'all need some army green. I'm thinking in my head like I didn't tell them, but I would love to collab.
Hey, put it out there. Put it out there. Why not?
Right.
Okay, well, so we have a really fantastic show planned. We've got some listener-submitted secrets and confessions that we're going to get to in just a moment. But before we do that, Isis, we need to know that we can trust you. Now, this is not your big secret. You're going to reveal a confession later on in the show.
Yeah.
But right now, just like sort of like test you, because these are big secrets that people share. Sometimes they're really like life-changing secrets they want to get off their chest.
Right.
And so to know that you can respond in kind, this is like a little secret, right? This is something that maybe in your life is like a vice. Maybe it's a snack that you can't get rid of. Maybe it's a friend that you can't drop that you know is not good for you. Maybe it's a bad habit that you have that you can't let go of for whatever reason. So we want to know, what is your mess? But yes.
Okay, let me see. A simple mess. I love drinking like pickle juice, balsamic vinegar, Italian dressing. Like,
wait.
Does
that count?
All together or something? I'm confused.
No, but say I make like a little salad. I remember I got in trouble for this when I was a little kid. I probably even got beat for it, which when I look back, I'm like, that's a stupid reason to get beat.
Yeah.
But I had like cucumbers, and I poured, I think, like a half a bottle of the Italian dressing in there just so I can drink the Italian dressing at the end. And my mom's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's not for you to drink. But I never really kicked the habit. So if ever I have like pickle juice or balsamic vinegar or Italian dressing, like I look more forward to maybe drinking the leftovers than actually eating the salad.
Whoa! So
I did used to take shots of balsamic vinegar from the bottle. I don't think I can really handle it now, but like early 20s, like on top model, like just starting hormones, I had weird urges, and I used to like have the balsamic vinegar and like take shots of it.
Oh my god!
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa!
I mean, I hate
it's
pickles.
making my mouth water right now. I'm just thinking about it.
Oh my god!
You're hungry now. Okay.
Somebody get her some pickle juice, some balsamic vinegar.
I will say I love all of those things, but I can't imagine. That's almost like drinking the milk at the end of your cereal.
You don't do that?
No. I do that, and I think normal humans do that. I don't think most people drink the Italian dressing at the end of their. Because I do Italian dressing, I'll just do like tomatoes and Italian dressing. Sometimes maybe I might throw like some cheese or some like if I make a caprese, but I'll just do tomatoes and Italian dressing all the time. But then I just pour the Italian dressing down the sink afterwards.
What?
I know.
That's the best part.
Okay, pickle juice. I like that. Balsamic vinegar.
I'm the pickle juice. I just don't like pickles.
It goes like Italian dressing, pickle juice. Balsamic vinegar is like boss level. Like you can only have a little bit of that. But it hits you here, and I love that.
Wait, so you had wild. So when you were going through a transition and you were taking the hormones, you were having wild like urges, like you had things that you wanted to eat.
I mean, at the beginning, like that, and something I craved a lot was pickled sausages. I don't know, a lot of people here haven't heard of them, but they come like in the pack. They're like bright red. They look like hot dogs, like at the candy store or like grocery. Like pickle sausages. I don't have any right now, but
What is a
What?
pickle
I used to eat,
sausage?
I gotta
my
look up
salt
pickle
levels
sausages
were
now.
off the chart because I used to
Oh.
eat so many of those back to back.
Pickle
Well, that makes sense.
sausages.
Say it again?
I guess that makes sense because you're going through hormone, therapy, and your hormones are all out of whack at that time. And women oftentimes say when they're pregnant and their hormones are all over the place, they have really weird cravings. So it's a hormonal thing.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's
but
probably like
that
a
makes
hormone
a lot
shift.
of sense.
Wait,
Okay.
were the pickled sausages in a jar?
Some of them are the ones I get like Firecracker, like Big Mama.
Are they in like a
Oh, yeah,
yellow,
Big Mama.
yellow
Wait,
wrapper
Big
or an
Mama.
orange wrapper?
Big Mamas is one of them. It's different ones. It's like, but they're. You guys never had one?
I've
No,
never
we'll
even
post
heard
this
of
on
this.
Instagram when this episode comes out because I've never heard of pickles. Where are you from?
I'm from Maryland originally.
Maryland.
Oh,
Like right
Yeah.
outside of DC. I
Pickle
think it's
sausages.
more like Southern, I guess. I
I'm
don't know.
from
I thought it
Atlanta.
was
I ain't never
normal.
heard of no pickle sausage. But hey, listen, no
Well, we
judgment
call
here.
them hot sausages.
Okay, I've heard of hot sausages.
Okay.
But it's not in the. I don't know.
That I've never
But
seen that in my
not
life.
not the one that comes on the bread. It's completely different. You eat this by itself.
Can we get these on like Amazon? Can we try them?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
where I
trying-
get.
you can try
That's
it.
where I get mine. I think what was the Hannah's? Hannah's is I think the one I got more recently, and Hannah's is really good.
You got it off Amazon?
Yes, because I can't find them at the I don't really
Yeah.
go to 7-Eleven anymore. So
Like SoCal, all we got out here is like avocados and
I
like,
know
like
Hannah's.
lettuce.
like what?
Yeah.
What is
Hannah's
that?
pickle
That's-
sausages. It's a
what's
whole
that?
thing.
There it is. Let's order some. I'm gonna try it.
It's low-key kind of
What? Okay, you're acting like I said it's pig feet. It's not like pig feet or nothing weird like that.
We grew up eating that stuff. We grew up eating cow tongue.
Y'all ate weird
no,
stuff.
see, I don't do any of that. It's basically like I think a few different meats mixed and then pickled with they're a little spicy, but I have a low tolerance for spice. So they're like a perfect little.
Okay. Wow, it hits the spots.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
That was a good mess, but yes.
I think we can trust you with our listeners. Shall we do it?
I say we shall.
Let's get into our first confession.
Okay, let's do it.
My mouth is watering now. I want to order them.
Because you want to try it so bad?
I do. I love trying wild
and you're
things.
going to fall in love with them. They
Yeah.
are delicious.
I mean,
now
probably will.
you make me want to reorder a batch.
Listen, let me tell you something about AJ. AJ loves a good sausage,
Oh,
so.
listen. Who doesn't? You sure don't. Oh, come on.
No, I love sausages too.
You nasty.
Not pickle ones though. Okay. So the first secret is from Anonymous. Oh, by the way, the theme of this episode, they're wild card secrets again. I know we do wild cards sometimes. That means that this can be any type of secret. All of these secrets have been sourced by our amazing producer, Frank. So I haven't seen them. AJ hasn't seen them. And Isis hasn't seen them. We're reading these all for the first time. And we're going to react together. Isis, feel free to jump in, hop in. Just we're going to have a little kiki here.
Do what you do.
Okay.
Also, Kiki, I did not realize, I just learned this. We interviewed somebody on my show the other day that Kiki is a ballroom word. I did not realize Kiki came from the ballroom.
Oh, really?
Like my cis white self over, sorry, I just cursed. Over here, I've been saying Kiki all these years. I didn't know it was from ballroom.
I mean,
Ballroom
so much stuff gets taken from ballroom, and you don't even know. I'm from the ballroom scene, so so much stuff gets taken, like fashion, vocabulary, term, like everything, and it's just because it wasn't really mainstream,
Mhm.
And not really social media to really connect it. And then now you also have RuPaul's Drag Race, where a girl will go in there and be like, "Yes, girl, honey, okay." Death drop, and then it's like taking all this culture on there, and now it's on a way bigger platform than where you pulled it from. So for the record, death drop is called a dip. It's not death drop. Death drop is a made up word that needs to go.
We did learn that actually.
Was it Shablam was also wrong?
Oh, yeah.
So we're obsessed with, and we can get into this a little bit. We're obsessed with Pose and Legendary, and so the first season of Legendary, I don't know if they did it for season 2.
Everything.
Obsessed. I followed her Instagram. I was like,
can you please be our mother? Like, we love her so much.
But
she's so fierce.
First season, we were watching and we binged, and I don't know if they did it second season, but first season, like after each episode, the host,
Sean?
Sean Wesley. So
he's so talented.
He literally would go through and do say a different word and like break it down, and explain the culture, and I love that because as somebody who we became new fans of the ballroom scene. First with Pose, but then seeing like a different side with Legendary, and then kind of learning. And there was that one behind the scenes where he kind of talked about how Shablam is wrong. I was like, oh, whoa,
right. Well, because it's one thing to like watch like Paris is Burning or Pose and like feel like you kind of have like an idea of sort of the culture and respect for it, and and the beauty of it.
Yeah.
But then I think Legendary takes it to a different level, and it's so just beautiful to see like these houses come out there and do what they do, and the talent level is so absurd. I will tell you this: I'm on the Wendy Williams show a lot, and I've been on there for years. And I was talking about Meg Thee Stallion on Legendary, and because Wendy was kind of low key dragging Meg Thee Stallion that day, and I was like, "Oh, honey, no. Here's what you need to watch her on Legendary, and you're going to fall in love with her all over again, and you're going to have a different opinion of her because the respect that she shows these performers, and the respect that she has for the ballroom culture, understanding that she's not of it, but she's supporting it with her fame, is so cool. I'm curious to know, Isis, like, what do you think?
I was supposed to be a guest judge on season 2. And
I literally was going to say she'd be a guest judge.
They asked me, and then it kind of fell through. I don't know. I just saw that they just kept going. I was like, okay, well, I had my outfit picked out, but...
well, this needs to happen because...
But also, I want to say, too, Deshawn and Naomi, like, we all come from, like, the same era. Like, I remember Naomi was one of the first people when I was starting to take hormones. Well, before I started, I was talking to her on a peer about hormones. And she's a few years younger than me, but it's just so interesting to see, like, certain people who like, really stood out to me in that era, like, are also having their moment, like Deshawn, Amaya, Naomi. So I love all of them.
I'll tell you
and
this.
DJ Mike Q, who's the
Oh,
DJ.
yes.
So talented.
Yes.
Everybody's so talented. I remember watching the very first episode, and Deshawn is supposed to be coming on the podcast at some point. We had them all set, then things got weird a little bit with the holidays, and now they're filming season 3 of Legendary. So we are going to get Deshawn. I was at one of his performances a few months ago downtown at the Globe Theater, and they debuted the House of Basquiat that night, and he was incredible and just performed like nuts. But I remember watching that very first episode, and because he kind of plays the role that sort of Billy Porter played on Pose, like the Pray Tell,
the MC.
Like, the MC. And I said, listen, I've been in this game for a minute. I've hosted a lot of TV shows. I've done a lot, and I think I'm as good as anybody in the industry for what I do. Red carpets, live TV, things like that, right? And I'm confident in myself. I watched Deshawn Wesley and that very first episode, and the entire time, and Emile is probably so annoyed. I'm like, oh my god, the talent, like the talent, like that is such a specific talent, and to do it so effortlessly, and to make it so enjoyable, and to look so good, it's like just like different, like a different level of talent. But such respect.
That's ballroom.
And Deshawn's
so
voice.
let's get into these questions.
I know,
we could talk. I could talk, and we could talk about that. That's a whole nother thing.
No, Isis, we're having so much fun. We're going to take a quick commercial break and then come right back with some secrets.
Welcome back to Confess Your Mess with Isis King this week.
Whoop whoop.
Let's get into the confessions. So, anonymous male, Austin, Texas. I feel nothing from blowjobs. I feel like my penis is broken, but only for mouths. Vaginas and booty holes, not booty holes, again.
Who still says that?
Vaginas and booty holes and hands feel great, but blowjobs just nothing. But some people love giving them, so I'll fake it. Eek. You know what I'll say? For me, and AJ knows this, I'm not like, I could never have a blowjob again in my life and I would be fine. Like oral sex for me, receiving is not something that I necessarily desire. Everything else is more pleasurable to me. So I kind of relate, but it's not where I don't feel anything. I do feel something from it.
Listen, we're a match for so many reasons, and that's one of them. No, I remember there was a guy that I used to like hook up with years ago. Sorry, Emile, this before you. And he was like that, and I was like, I always felt like I had to reciprocate because I was like, I want to be like a nice guy and a good sexual partner to whoever, and it was just a sexual thing for the two of us at the time. And he was like, listen, I don't want to receive oral sex, and I also don't want to top at all. Ever. And I was like, oh my God, like you're like a unicorn. Like, but actually at the time I thought so, but that's actually more common than I think than people realize. Like you're into what you're into, and that's okay. Yeah?
Yeah.
Or he's trans. No.
Or that. But that's an option.
I mean, I do understand that, and I feel like I'm more on the A spectrum, to be honest, like in this era of my life, which is weird for me to be there, but that's where I am. But I will say that everybody's different, and And it could be a mental thing. Like, you never know. It could be a block. I have heard stories and know people where that, like, they didn't like that, or it is a block. I know for me personally, receiving oral is, oh my God, it's weird me saying this because it's not the type of, but whatever, we're here. I'm not really that like intimate with people, but when I am, I don't like it. And I never did. Even like before surgery, it wasn't really something that I really care for. So I know firsthand that like it's just not for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And it doesn't have to be like something behind it. Maybe it's just not your thing. Maybe he would rather also, sorry.
Are you good?
Maybe you never know. It could be a control thing. Maybe, when he's intimate, maybe he's more in control, but maybe when he's receiving oral sex, he's not. So he can't really control the moment and what happens. And that's on a psychological level that maybe he's unaware of. It's some people who, if you just touch them, or they can think of it and they can just make themselves climax. So it's like, it really, for some people, is on that level where it's in your head. And yeah, maybe it's just not the thing for him, or maybe he just doesn't like to not have the power. So it's a block there.
Yeah, it's real. And the thing is, the cool thing is that whatever the answer is, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all okay.
Yeah.
You said you're kind of in an asexual sort of like phase in your life right now, and I can relate to that in like certain seasons. What is a turn on for you? Is it like mental stimulation? Is it conversation? Is it trust and friendship? Like, what is a turn on for you?
All three of those. Yeah. A little bit of cuddling. I mean, it's so hard. I feel like for me, I've been in LA for over 5 years now, and I felt it creeping up, but once I got here, I'm like starting to put my career first and learning my self-worth and like really getting away from the type of guys that I was dating that was not healthy for me. Having standards, but also as a trans woman of color, not that should matter, but that does, because we are kind of fetishized as a whole. Right. So to me, a trans woman of color who's focused on her career, who is not just giving it up. And to be in LA, that makes it so much harder to date, because most people want to just, do it or have sex or something. So, and I'm just like, I need a connection.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because I feel like when I was younger, I just accepted like, oh, you like me? Okay, that's good enough. Oh, it's good enough for me. And now I'm like, no, I need a connection. And then even when I have a connection, like, do I feel that? And I do feel like it's some things that like guys do, like being kind and like sweet and attentive, like the things that would turn me off when I was younger, because I had a fucked up idea of what a man was and what love was, because I saw my mom go through 2 abusive marriages, right? So I always thought that a guy had to be this, had to be cold, a thug, like all these things. And so I kept attracting that, and it wasn't good for me. So now also knowing like, I don't want, like, that's the first thing that comes to like, stay away, like, I don't want it. Like, I don't need anything from you. So, and I'm so thankful that I'm in this phase of my life where I am good on my own. So if for you to come in, you have to emotionally, verbally, stimulate me. Like, stimulate me. I'm good on my own. Like, I'm really good on my own.
That part.
And I feel like out here, because we're in an era of swiping and it's so cold and so transactional, and because I'm not, that's not enough for me, it makes it really hard. And to the point where I'm like, friends are like, try to date. I'm like, oh yeah, let me try. And it's like, I would love to meet somebody, but I stopped holding my breath a while ago. And now I'm just really focused on like, I eventually want a house and all this stuff. And I'm nowhere near that, but it's like I'm starting to finally take strides in my career where it's starting to finally happen. And I'm just like, finally, and I know how to put myself first, which is something for a lot of my adult life and a lot of my life in general, I didn't know how to do. And
it takes time to learn.
To be here.
Yeah, I love that.
I adore you.
Listen. I just want a sweet guy who's sweet, goofy, nice, loves a cuddle, and then maybe all that, you do the right thing, and then Pandora's box might just open.
Right.
Why is it so hard to get that?
Listen, and she mentioned cuddling twice, so cuddling is really important, y'all. Yes. It's important. Okay.
I love cuddling. I mean, but it's weird because now I have a puppy, and I'm like, oh, okay, he loves to cuddle. That's
We got a dog last year too, and I tell you this: if I were not in a relationship, I'd never be in one ever again. Because if I weren't already with this man, I would just be at home with that dog all the time. It's the cutest thing. It cuddles me all the time. He gives me so much love.
Now you know good and well that
My
dog will
dog
not
is
be enough
driving
for
me
you.
crazy though, for the record.
Right.
But
Okay.
we're trying to work on it with training now. So
We just signed up for training because our dog's name is Kingston because I'm half Jamaican, and we're beefing right now because he's being.
How old is he?
He's 1.
He just turned 1 in November.
Okay.
And
Mine
he's not
just
eating his
turned
food.
7 months, 2 days ago. So
Oh, what kind of dog do you have?
a Yorkie.
Oh, we have a Woodle.
Yeah, he's a Wheaton Terrier and a poodle. He's so cute.
He's like 40 pounds. He's like a whole ass dog.
Oh no,
Okay.
that's
Listen.
my dog. He got a little bit bigger than I thought, and he's like probably 8-9 pounds. I'm like, boy, you're heavy.
You're like, this is not what I asked for.
You're heavy.
Okay. This next secret is actually from LA. This is from Chandler, female, Los Angeles, 27.
Okay.
Sometimes I eat frozen food that's still frozen. Like if I'm super hungry and don't feel like cooking, I'll grab a frozen pizza or dumpling or vegetable, let it soften a touch, and straight up down it.
Whoa.
Girl, you got worms. Girl, this food needs to be cooked for a reason, girl.
Yeah, that's salmonella or something in there.
Low key.
Girl, she's like, and I'm losing all this weight on my frozen.
Right.
Yes, girl, because the worms are inside, like eating all your food up.
Yo, that's so true. Like my barber says a lot of crazy shit when I'm in the chair. I go to a private barber I've been going for years.
He's wild.
And the other day, though, this is like months ago, I was in the chair and he was watching these videos, and sometimes he puts on the TV screen, but low key, some of the videos are crazy. And then some of them I'm like, oh, and it was showing like with different people when they have some of these stomach issues, like there's actual, like you're saying, worms in their body that are craving certain things. So this person, worm is craving this disgusting frozen, and I'm not judging you. What's their name? Chandler. I'm not judging you, but you might want to look into that.
No, hold that thought. This is serious. You could develop, and you might think you're fine right now, but food that's in the freezer needs to be cooked. Unless you're eating freeze pops and ice cream sandwiches, sweetie, don't eat no frozen food. It need to be cooked. It's going to catch up with you. And that'd be a silly reason to have a huge medical bill.
Yeah.
I get the lazy part, though, but that's why you just throw it in the microwave because, I don't want to say the D word, but it creeped up on me sometimes. And sometimes you just got to make something quick because you don't have the energy to do it. Mm-hmm. Girl, throw something in the microwave, or my fallback plan is always a bowl of cereal. But not
bowl of cereal.
Yeah,
I love me a bowl of cereal. My co-host Michaela, she's one of her favorite snacks is she gets ramen noodles in like the plastic package with the seasoning, and she'll break up the noodles and put the seasoning all over and eat it like
raw?
a snack crunch. That's safer because it's like not, it doesn't need to be cooked. But that's why is it really?
That is the thing, but that's still different than eating frozen.
Right,
they said frozen dumplings, which I know dumplings are not usually pre-cooked.
Yeah, so that's why I was thinking.
You're eating raw meat, and that girl, it's like, girl, you in danger, girl. You like, girl, your food.
Not you in danger, girl.
Girl.
Hey, Frank, that could be our title for the week. So go ahead and mark girl. That. You in danger, girl.
I love that.
Yes. What do you have for us, Emile?
Okay, so this next one is Claire, female, Colorado.
Not Claire Huxtable. I love. Okay, Claire, what are you doing?
Okay, so I live in Boulder, and when it snows, it, in all caps, snows. I have these neighbors who are assholes and had my car towed before because it was barely sticking into their driveway. And instead of just knocking and asking me to move it, they had it towed. Anyway, every winter now when I shovel snow, I just throw it directly into their front yard.
Oh, ow.
So they have to shovel even more of it because F them. But first,
they want to get that off their chest.
They want to get that off their chest.
They put the snow in the neighbor's yard.
Yeah, but I feel like putting snow in the neighbor's yard to having your car towed. That's not. You don't have to confess anything. I would probably do something worse.
Are you a spiteful person, Isis? Have you been spiteful in the past?
No. Let me tell you why. Because karma will catch you really quickly, and I try to always. And I know a neighbor is not someone on the street. This is someone you have to constantly deal with
every day.
So I would think I'm just going to avoid them however I can. I don't want to do nothing, but like that situation would have pissed me off. But I would have been like, noted. If they do something like that, I would get them towed. But the snow and everything else, I was just trying to do everything to like disassociate myself with them. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, because you're not going. What's the desired outcome? Is it so you can feel like good about it and you're sticking it to them? Because then I guess but
because
not,
it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going.
But wait, y'all. I just need some clarification. I get what y'all are
because
saying.
they obviously don't feel good about this if they're confessing it to us right now.
I get what y'all are saying. However, if they said instead of just knocking and asking me to move it, they had it towed. So if this has happened multiple times,
yeah, that's a dick move.
No. But they only had them towed once.
Okay, or else right.
Okay,
you're right. Okay, you're right. They didn't say multiple times. Okay.
Because he low-key try to make up stories sometimes to make his narrative work.
Because I'm petty, and I just want
to. This is like my area of expertise. Okay, like I can give some good. I'm the person all my friends go to for advice.
Okay, so if not doing the snow, then what is the alternative? Because they're saying that it was barely in their driveway.
Yeah.
So what would you do instead of shoveling snow directly into their front yard? Like, what's the solution? Go confront them?
See, that's hard because once again, it's not a person on the street or someone you randomly see. This is your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And that would piss me off. I don't know what I would do about that, but I would just say, got it. I'm just going to be aware of everything. But as soon as they do something that's out of line, I'm going to get them towed or something. But other than that, I don't think I would do anything more because I don't need on my conscience that I have to constantly now watch my neighbor because we're going back and forth.
Right.
That's not a good feeling.
Here's what you do.
So.
Here's what you do. You either, maybe you cook a nice pizza or some dumplings and just walk them over there and make them dinner one night. Maybe bring them a Stouffer's lasagna or bake them some cookies and say, here, just stop in and say hi. Here, the way
some raw ramen.
Right.
Frozen dumplings.
But you got to kill them with kindness or maybe have them over for like a little barbecue.
You're going to kill them with that.
Well,
or that part. Give them a frozen pizza and tell them to eat it. Don't cook it.
I guess I'm petty down. This podcast is exposing me because I'm over here thinking some things like.
Listen,
it's just always say it's not worth it because then you do it, and then it depends on what type of person you are. Like for me, if I did something, I would think about the karma, but also I would feel guilt. It would eat me up because I'm like, oh, you say you're a good person, and then you're doing it would drive me crazy. So I never try to do anything that would put me on that because it would drive me crazy thinking about it.
Okay, one more secret before we get into ISIS's secret. Okay.
Yes.
This is from Anonymous, non-binary in Indiana.
Okay.
They said, I'm a sex worker and I've had sex with a well-known Republican politician who is married with kids.
And that's always the story.
That's always the story.
Every time, right?
I just need a screenshot of ISIS's face.
That's always the story. That doesn't surprise me at all. Probably the one that's trying to push for conversion and everything.
Period.
Or Mike Pence. He's Indiana.
Yo,
wouldn't surprise me.
Listen, I'll never reveal who it is, not because I care about their career, but because I don't want to deal with the blowback. A few of my close friends know, but no other soul will ever find out.
Is it a question or a confession?
It's just a confession that they're sleeping this Republican politician that's well known.
Guess what? In Indiana, I bet they said that, and I bet 4 other trans people that's me too.
Right.
It's not. I mean, for your safety. I mean, I don't know. It's weird for me because I'm always on the karma aspect of if I know somebody's with somebody. I can't. I think the best thing for this person would be just wipe their hands and walk away.
Yeah.
Some of these people are really crazy, and if you have power and money, it sounds like a big movie plot, but reality is people trans people get harmed, and people don't really care. It's not national news, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, it sounds...
I'll just say be careful. Tread lightly.
You say it sounds like a movie. It sounds like Angel in season 1 of Pose, and that was kind of her storyline, but it's her storyline because that's reality, and that's it's just so wild to me. What are your thoughts when it comes, I know you're all about karma, but when it comes to politicians or people in power who are making decisions that are affecting lives, that they shouldn't be making, decisions they shouldn't be making. I know, I'm always oh, you shouldn't out people. But when it comes to a situation like that, do you think it's ever okay to out somebody who's maybe making decisions that are influencing all of our lives as queer people, but then behind the scenes they're doing these things that are not in alignment with how they're voting?
Mm-hmm.
As horrible as it is, I don't think it's ever. I don't know. I can't think of a case where it would be good to out somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like everyone, I mean, granted, these people are like scum, some of them, who deserve it. But reality is everyone has their own journey, and taking someone's right to like come out from them, I don't think that's fair. If you want to throw some little subliminals, see, I didn't say no, that's different. But
Right.
but just blatantly, I don't know. It's always a weird thing. But as someone, like, I was outed on TV, too, and it's just not a fun feeling.
Well,
It's not a fun feeling. And also, you just gotta hope that they get, they do the right thing and get their karma. Or if you just gotta take it to the streets and beat some ass. I'm just
listen, but see,
also-
so it's because of me, I'm like, listen, go ahead and beat the ass. No, you talked about, your experience on TV, and you did get now you are on an Amazon show that is so freaking cool. And we'll talk about that in a sec, but you got your start and really got known from America's Next Top Model. I just want to know your thoughts as somebody, and I'm sure you've seen, it seems like it used to be at least once a year. Now it's a couple of times a year. People, especially now that America's Next Top Model is showing up on different platforms. Sometimes it's all the seasons, sometimes it's some of the seasons, and people are like watching it back and they're
they
like,
get dragged.
ooh, and it's a lot of times like Tyra is getting dragged. Oh, this was problematic. This was this. What are your thoughts on that? Because some people take the standpoint of, at that time, and then some people are like, no, this was never okay. Like, are you the type of person that watches those back, if you even watch it back, or you see those tweets and you're like, show her some grace, or are you the type of person that's like, I see where y'all are coming from?
I feel like that's a complex answer. Part of it is I feel like she gets a lot of heat, and there's so many people behind the scenes back there making decisions, not just Tyra. So I think that's really interesting that she is always getting the heat. And then secondly, the lens is different because I recently came across an old picture on a top model forum from back then of me, and all the comments and all the feedback I got during that era was trash, was horrible, kill yourself, like bullying, like the first wave of cyberbullying pretty much from social media, because it was like at the beginning. And I'm looking like maybe 1 out of 20 comments was something positive. So for people now to say that, I'm like, no, it was y'all. Like, it's easy to say now, but I'm the person that dealt with it. And most of the comments now, when I see something, and most of them are good, and then I see like maybe 1 every 20 or 1 every 100, like, it's still not, it doesn't pass me that like just not too long ago was the opposite. So I always tell people now, like, it's nice I get all like, all the love, and everyone wished someone was there for me then during the era, but it's like, but most of y'all, like most of the people, were acting the same way as the girls in the house. So what do you really say to that? That was a different era where people were calling things out, but also now it's more celebrated to be queer. We're still way behind, where we should be, but it's way more celebrated. And also we have so many queer people in positions to have positive influence that I feel like back then wasn't really. Was and also part of
to lift others
media.
up. Yeah, I mean, there weren't a lot to lift us up back then. I mean, for me, I had Will and Grace. That was it. That was the only thing I saw that wasn't like a terrible representation. RuPaul has done so much for so many, but that was kind of it for the longest time. Yeah. Listen, we're almost there. It's time for you to give us your confession. In just a moment, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to be back with Isis King and her confession in just a moment.
Ooh, okay. We've been waiting for this, Isis. You have been such a fantastic guest, and you knew it was coming. Now it's time for that moment where you
confess your mess.
Interesting. Well, it's not my mess, but it was some mess.
Okay. Listen.
Okay, so I don't know if I really said this in an interview, but I guess I'll say now because I couldn't really think of something else, and it's kind of juicy. So 2 years ago, I was in Savage X Fenty fashion show.
Oh wow! Yeah, we watched. We watched.
Volume 1.
The best volume so far.
It was the best, like everything. So I remember meeting so many like trans and queer and non-binary models backstage, like so many different types of people. There's just one girl I met, and she gave her accolades, and she was so sweet, trans person. And I remember like we clicked on the first day during rehearsals. So then we got put in a lineup, and that person was, if I say that, y'all gonna know. Anyway, so this person was in one position, and there's no way to tell this story and it not be. Anyway, this person was in one position, and on the floor, like the camera pan, they'll have a beautiful like shot, like a really beautiful shot. And then some of us were like modeling, you know, like, or walking. So I was picked to walk, you know, with like my group, and we had dancers and stuff around us. So I remember after rehearsal, they were just complaining, oh, you know, I didn't fly all the way out here for this. Like my walk is this, my walk is that. Like I'm known for this, I'm known for, like, gave all the accolades. I'm just like, yeah, girl, say something. Like, girl, like, if that's how you feel, absolutely say something. Like, that's, even though I'm just like, okay, if I was there, like, you just do it, you know, but that's also where I come from. So the next day, the real show happens. And then the person pulls me to the side and say, oh, we have a switch. You two are switched. And it was 8 people. It was 8 models in my line. Each model walked with the dancers around them, but each like single, you know, model had their time. And I was just like, I'm not even a diva, but I was like, so out of all the people in my section, or all the people in this whole section in general, you switch this trans model to 2 trans models. And I was just like, and then this person had like, they're somewhere hiding. Cause I was just like,
well, after you advised that person to like advocate for themselves.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was just like, no. If I was put there from the beginning, of course, because I'm not a diva and I come from really humble beginnings where it's like, I was spotted in the background. So no matter where you put me, when a camera gets in front of me, I'm going to turn it out. So that's just me. So I called my manager up and I was like, this is a situation. It's not even about me where I am. I just feel like that person, and maybe the person who was organizing it didn't really know, you know, and not to say even like, I'm like, oh, do you know why? I'm not the type of person, but that was really disrespectful. And I'm sure that this person worked everybody, you know, but I'm the only one that could see. I'm like, wait. Why would you, out of everybody here, you switch us? So I was like, I called my manager. I was like, hey, you need to call them because I'm about to walk out. Like, this is, I'm not going to do. And obviously it wasn't, I'm sure Rihanna was doing her thing. She didn't know.
Well, it's kind of like what we said about Tyra Banks. Like, Tyra might not know everything that's going on. Right. Rihanna doesn't know everything that's going on either.
No. So my manager called, and, you know, I don't know what happened with that. Then they came back and said, we worked it out. Both of you are going to now be walking. Okay, I'm fine with that. And I was just like, as all these people around, all these people, and even my section, all the people that were there was like, oh, girl, that was shady. I was like, okay. Because I was keeping it to myself. But you know when other people just kind of like,
yeah, sometimes
everybody
you don't
there was just like, we saw that. And I was like, okay.
You didn't have to say anything.
I'm not going to say anything because I feel like if I say something and this person do the little white girl tears things, and I'm just like, and I'm looking like whatever. So I'm like, I'm not even going to say anything because it's not worth it. I'm still here. It's not even worth it. That's that person's karma.
And you still walked in volume 1 of Savage X FENTY.
No, but let me tell you their karma.
Oh.
Because karma come to play.
Full circle moment here.
Everybody walk. Then I walk, and you know, and you see me walking with my models, and then that person, but because they time each thing, like each thing happening, each dance move, everything is timed. So I walk, and then they pan back over to the person for like 2 seconds, and it went off because it was time for I think for me to be the last one, and maybe the camera would have stayed on for a few more seconds. So I feel like if they would have stayed where they were, they would have gotten way more. The camera was in their face serving it. Serving it close.
If that's not a lesson for life,
listen, what's for you is
stay put. What is for you is for you.
Don't try to steal other opportunities. No, that was actually an amazing confession and a mess. We got to rewatch volume 1.
Volume 1 now.
Because Rihanna, we just saw recently, is pregnant. So congratulations to her, by the way.
And then I saw Rihanna afterwards. Like I had my mask on and she came back, and because at the finale we all had a mask, and I was like, oh, Rihanna. But then people start crowding in. I was like, I'm not even gonna bother her. And then she looked over, she said, Isis, you killed it. And I was like,
And you fell over.
I was like,
yes.
even though it's like once in a while you get like that. Like Rihanna is a, icon. So
Icon.
Like, I mean, obviously she wanted me here, but it's still like, it was still really sweet. And that made the whole thing
of
for me.
course.
Like,
and I said, of course, and you're still killing it. Tell the people just about your current project on Amazon, because
yes.
that is a huge accomplishment that you're doing right now. So for people who haven't seen the show, what can you tell them about it?
Yes, because me and AJ talked about this on his other show. With Love is a show where each episode happens over a different holiday for the Diaz family. And it follows each of the different members as we kind of have our own little situation with love. Some of us are falling in love. Some of us are having issues with love. Some of us are looking for love. And it's a very diverse cast. We have an amazing showrunner and creator, Gloria, who actually is in the show as Tia Gladys, who's like the funniest aunt. And it's just a show about love and hope. And my story within a show is the first time there's been a trans love story in a holiday themed movie or TV show.
History.
Which is what I found from Glad. But it's hopefully we get a season 2. It's a show that will make you feel so good, so warm. It's so much love put into the show, and I feel like when you watch it, it's a good feeling. And like I said, each episode is a different holiday. So even though it starts with Christmas, we go to New Year's. Episode 3 is Valentine's Day, 4th of July. So we have so many different holidays in there, and it's a timeless, I think, show that you can watch with your family or with your friends or with your partner at any point.
By like season 3, it's gonna be like Flag Day.
Right.
Like they're coming up random ass holidays.
We're waiting to see if we get a season 2. I'm like,
Well, we're sending all the positive vibes with that.
We know you got to get going really quickly though. Before we let you go, we always wrap our show with one thing, and that is this. We ask what your takeaway of the day was. What was your takeaway from your time here on Confess Your Mess?
My takeaway is cook your damn food.
That part.
Cook your damn food before you get worms.
Salmonella. Nobody wants worms.
Oh, it's gonna be worse than that. Listen,
Isis King, you're an icon. We love you. We adore you. I learned so much more about you today. I've been following your career for years, but I just love your heart. And so thank you for making time for us. We
really do appreciate it.
We just launched this thing last year, and every time somebody like you comes on here and just blesses us, it makes us feel so good. So thank you.
I appreciate it, guys, and congratulations, and rub off some of that relationship love on me, because I wrote on my thing that maybe I want a Valentine's. I haven't had one in a while, so
okay.
Just putting it out there on the podcast in case somebody wants to Valentine's.
Yes, you better manifest that.
Love connections.
Thank you so much, Isis.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great one.
You too.
Confess Your Mess.
Confess Your Mess is a Straw Hut Media podcast produced by Ryan Tillotson and Frank Driscoll. Thank you so much for listening, and don't forget to subscribe and share.
And if you have a secret and want to share, go to confessyourmess.us to submit. Your secret could end up in the show.
Ooh.
Confess